Making Your Impact session, Blockchain Technology and Digital Asset as a Tool of Changing Women's Financial Status. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, beautiful African women, beautiful African ladies. I also have to put my hands together for what you just said because it's very, very true and very inspiring. Thank you so very much.
Clap for me.
So, today I am feeling very honored, like my humble person has been honored to be giving this majestic platform to pass a message. I stand before you as one person, but actually I think Dr. Louisa mentioned it yesterday. When you have one woman standing in front of you, actually she is standing, but behind there are 9,999 other women who are also speaking through her. So she's actually that, like, the echo that is voicing all the other women's voices. So today, I feel more like I am on a mission, like I was sent here as a missionary. And my mission is what I want to do now. So I am pleading with you to give me your attention, to give me not only your physical ears, but give me your body, your mind, your soul, and your spirit. Because if it does impact your spirit, they say the body is made up of 3 components: the spirit, the soul, the body. And the most important of it is actually the soul. That's why there's the fight between the evil and the light. The evil fighting for your soul, for you to do evil things, and the light fighting for your soul, for you to go back to your Creator. You can already understand I have a Christian background. So, today, I want to permit myself to say welcome, and welcome to this presentation, which is called Building Impact by Mentoring to Support Youth Social and Professional Inclusion. As you already know, or as she brilliantly and well announced it, my name is Angelique Ondoa. Now, further details of what I know, who I am, we'll see that at the end. Let's go directly to what is important. Let's have the food. After the physical food, the spiritual food. So, today, I felt really blessed when I listened to all the panelists, the youths, and the team who spoke before the youths. I felt so blessed because they were talking, and the word that was coming up and up was mentoring. Mentoring, mentoring, mentorship. So when I knew that I was to stand up and speak before you about it, I said, oh God, you have made the way, so it's going to be easy. So now, at times we get words, but maybe we don't really understand the meaning of those words. Yes, we are talking about mentorship. We're talking about mentorship programs, mentoring. But who really is a mentor? What is his role? What are the criteria? What are the attributes? A young sister asked the question during the youth panel. She asked, what are those sitting on the chairs where they are making decisions, important decisions? What are they doing to prepare seats for the younger ones coming? I really appreciated her intervention. In another way, the question can be, what is your succession plan? And I will really appreciate if, not maybe all of you, but at least one could give an introduction to that question before we separate today. It is really important to give answers to real questions. So going directly to it. If we define, thank you, if we define who a mentor is, or if we have to do it, a mentor is a positive role model who actually builds the rocks to help youth development. So he is the person that is building the walls, solid ones, unbreakable ones, for the youth to be empowered to also start his own leadership journey. That is what a mentor has to do. That is what those who volunteer, because you need to understand that it is not an obligation. It is a voluntary action to be a mentor. You voluntarily stand up and say, I am mentoring this youth because in him or her, I can see myself. I can see how I started. I can see how the journey was. I know the challenges. I see she's portraying almost the same attributes. I see in the way she's going, in the path she's following, in the career she wants to follow, maybe she might do the same mistakes. So let me try and make the way. Not easy, because actually challenges build up morally, emotionally, psychologically, and they give us what we call maturity. It's important. That is why I'm a mother of a young girl of 6. I cannot leave my daughter under the care of a nanny who is 12 years old. I'll be scared. I'll be calling, maybe, first of all, I like calling even when it is my mother that is keeping her. So one more to talk of a 12-year-old girl. Probably I'll be calling until my battery will actually go low, because I want to be sure she's doing the right thing. So it's the same thing. As a mentor, you guide the youth, you guide the mentee to be sure that in future, he is going to be equipped to do the right things at the right time, at the right moment, in the right places, with the right people. Very important. So, let's go directly to the roles. If we all have understood who is a mentor. The roles of mentors. One of the roles is to understand the youth as individuals. Today, during the youth panel, there is, I don't know, was Velvita? She talked about something. I personally, I come from Cameroon, I'm a Cameroonian, and what we face, or what the youth usually face in their families, situations are really very tough and undescribable. Some of them are even scared to be spoken in such a platform. We are, in our normal lives or in our day-to-day lives, we are actually turning African music. We're actually, it's just that the camera is not there. But some youths, what they face, what they live in their families, and that is what is very scary. It actually comes from the families who are supposed to protect those youths, the family who are supposed to defend their rights. They are actually the ones who are there to abuse those rights and to abuse those youths. A mentor's role is to understand the person he is mentoring as an individual. Who are you? Where are you coming from? Where are you going to? Where are you heading to? I grew up in a family where it's sad for me to say it, but it is the blatant truth. We never had family discussions. You could never hear questions like, what do you want to achieve in future? What is inspiring you? And you only grew up, they send you to school, yes, they buy you clothes. When you're sick, they send you to the doctor and all that. But they are only feeling you. They are feeding you and feeling you, but they are not training you. And I think, I don't know for the other countries, I speak with the Cameroonian context and family. That is what is also a major barrier. Youths are not trained. They don't train them. They don't train them for what is awaiting them outside, for the challenges. They only fuel and feed them. It's not only in the homes, even through the educational system in schools. It's the same thing. They fill you and pack you with a lot of information, but actually they don't train your brain. They don't train your brain to do analysis. They don't train your brain to be ready that if you face this situation, how are you going to accommodate with it? Most of the time, some of them, when they go in the companies, their first days of work, they are having their books. Like when they give them a task to do, they'll first read the notes. What did they tell me in school about? It's not good. We need to train. And what if parent does not do at home, a mentor can do it. If the parent does not fail to fulfill, because in society or in the Cameroonian society, most parents fail to fulfill what they have to do. They fail to fulfill what is rightfully their responsibility. A mentor can take over and do it. The second role, no, come back, darling, come back. The second role understands youth development. Now, what do I mean here? As one of the mamas said it here, when she was talking to my beautiful black sister there, dressed in black, she said, the young ones, when they go out in the European and American countries and they see a lot of flashy good things and develop things, they come back, they only want to apply it and they are so fast. So each youth has his specific way of developing, and this is being differentiated by the exposures that they have. You cannot compare a youth that is coming from a rural area who has seen nothing but a hoe, a cutlass, and going to the farm with somebody whose school, he did primary school in England, college in France, university in, where were you? That is it, Portugal, you see? And you expect that youth, when he will come and he will be exposed like this, to be silent and quiet and to take a piece of paper and close his mouth. No. Where he was, they trained him to be bold. They trained him to speak. So he wants to speak. He wants to give his ideas. He wants to be listened because he thinks he has the solutions to your problem. They are training them to be solution-oriented. But in rural areas, they're training them to be what... I won't say problem-oriented, I won't go that far, but survival-oriented. Thank you very much. They are just survival. All they know how to do is just to survive. And it is very, very sad. The next thing is understand child trauma and its effects on youth decisions and actions. I come back to the Cameroonian context. Velveta today took the example of those mothers who burned their children, who beat up their children. Now, my question to you will be, somebody said that that is an abnormal situation. I share it. It's really abnormal that the child that you carry 9 months, in your womb, you actually take that child, beat that child up until you leave scars on the child. You burn the child. It doesn't make sense. You must be possessed of something of that same type. But unfortunately, some of them, they go through this child trauma. They are being traumatized. At times, it's not even physically. At times, it can be mentally. My own father, from my own experience, when he used to shout at you, he would shout at you as if you were the child of the neighbor. And you'll be questioning yourself, was I adopted or am I really his child? It's a pity, but it is the reality. In Cameroon, I don't know about your own country, but that is what is happening in Cameroon. Most of them, every single day, like from when you can start hearing these words, the first word that you hear is an abuse. You grow up, abuses. You keep on abuses. You cannot do nothing in life. You will never be anything. Everybody is just giving, and you have a whole Bible of insults. So what do you think? What do you expect from that youth? That you put him in a company? What do you think is going to be his decision and his actions? There is violence inside that child. His emotions have been tortured. There are so many young people, men as women, carrying faces, putting false smiles, but inside they're bleeding. Some are dying, some are even dead. It's just corpse, a corpse that is moving, and you can just blow, and it just falls down. So as a mentor, you need to consider that. You need to consider what did he went through, what were his exposures, what was he told, what were they feeding him with, and what were they filling his mind with. It's very important. We go to the next slide, darling. Who is jealous? So now let's see constructing positive mentor-mentee relationship. What does it take to construct a positive mentor-mentee relationship? What does it take, according to you? We need to understand that there are two types of mentors. There's the positive and the negative mentors. The first point that came up in my mind was mentors are influencers. Yes, the positive mentors, of course, will influence the mentee positively, and the negative one will influence him negatively. Now, in Cameroon, we have this new name that we like. Permit me to say it in French. We call them les influenceuses. I don't know if somebody has gone in internet, have heard about the Dubai porta-potty, something like that? No? Okay. Well, it's not really something to go detail into it. But as mentors, we need to know how we are influencing those that we're mentoring. And the influence must be positive because we are actually building the next generation that is going to lead our nations, that is going to lead our communities, and even those that are going to lead our families. You see a father who is very proud of his son, of the achievement of his son, saying that this is my son. I just love Nigerian movies for that. This is my son. He's coming from England. He is an accountant. Yes, I really love it, we Nigerians. So, mentors are positive, as we said, positive role models. And if you are a positive role model, you need to influence positively. The next one is mentors and navigators. Our life is like a journey. It's like you're sailing. And you have to be, you, as a mentor, sure, you have to make sure that where you are conducting that youth is actually to the point where is going to be a point of achievement, a point for him to take over and to continue with what you started, and to also open the way for the other ones behind him. Mentors are servant leaders. I think this is the best part. It's not all to say I am a mentor, but you need to understand that in mentoring, you are actually serving. As I told you, I'm a Christian. And I believe that when my Bible says that Jesus Christ was a servant, the Holy Book says it, if you want to be a master, you need to be ready to be the servant. Good. So now, if you're not ready to serve, please quit from the mentorship programs. Just quit. Because there it is to serve. You have to serve. And serving is in different forms. It's not just about writing the checks and giving them and everything. It's actually a follow-up. Serving, you need to listen. You need to be there for them. At every moment, every time they need you, they need your attention, they need your advice. You shouldn't say, no, I don't have time. You should be there. Don't forget, you are taking over what the family couldn't do, what their teachers couldn't do, and even what part of the society could not have done. The next. So now, we're going to see creating a plan for mentoring. In mentorship programs, they need to be what they call a process. So in the mentoring process, what are the different steps? I subdivided them in 4 because I think these 4 are the most important. Now, the first part is to select. You have to select mentees and analyze needs. You know, not all the youths have the same problems. Not all the youths are coming from the same background. So They don't have the same challenges. And even in terms of needs, some of them don't even know actually how to voice out what they need. So it will be difficult for somebody to give you a glass of water when actually you're thirsty of a glass of wine or of a glass of juice. There need to be a selection. You need to select them and group them and subdivide them. I know that these are the needs for these youths, these are the needs for the other, and these are the needs for that other group. And then you go straightly to the second, which is to match mentor with mentees. The lady, I think it's Iya, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name very well. Aya, okay, sorry there. Aya said it when she was talking. We need to match the mentor and the mentees. I just love that statement because that is what it is about. They need to be a match. If a youth wants to go in an accountant profession, in an accountant profession, as I was saying, he needs to be mentored by somebody who is a champion in accounting, definitely. Because if you want to be an accountant and I am a champion in counseling, I won't be of any help to you. So there needs to be that proper match. The next one is to set goals. Once you have been able to select the youth, his needs, you have been capable to match, to do the real matching with the mentor and the mentee. Now you can start the journey to his leadership. You can start the journey, you can set the goals, you can tell him what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And finally, we go to the fourth point, track and measure progress. Some people mentor and along the way, they just stop, they quit. But what you should understand is that if you're mentoring that youth, you need to pass him to the next level. And even when he's passing to the next level, you need to do a monitoring and proper monitoring with results to be sure that he is actually going at each stage of the processes of his leadership journey. Now, to finalize, for good mentorship programs, they need to be instructional, they need to be proper teaching, proper education programs, what to educate them, what to teach them, and give them the detailed information. They need to be interpersonal, creating good communication between the mentor and the mentees. And they need to be ethical. They need to be heavily loaded with values. Every mentoring program has to be loaded with values. You need to give them the right values. It will be abnormal, and that is what I usually see. Some youth, when they go somewhere, they can't even greet. Just to say good morning. It's as if you need to plead with them that please greet me. And now, after that we've seen these, we'll go to the next. This is my preferred. I stand here, I am an ICAF administrator in a petroleum company. I am also owner of OA Consulting, an organization, and my own part is to counsel those youths, give them guidance. We work with other organizations, like the ones of Patricia, the ones of Velvita, the ones of Youth, and we are there actually to do the ground. You know, when you're building a house, there's the roof under the ground. We are at the ground level. We are there actually to give them guidance and to counsel them, to listen to them, to hear what are their problems, what are their challenges. When we have finished their part, we pass them to the other organization that give them the funding, that permit them to enter into companies and to pursue their careers. And that is how we are able to create an impact. And that is how we are able to order with all other organizations to play as agents of peace and sustainable development. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We appreciate all that you have done and said now. If there's question, can we just take the next? We just need 2 questions, just 2. It's not working. No. 2 questions, please. Or can we make it just 3? Please, we're giving you 5 minutes to answer the questions. So do we allow them ask their questions at once? Okay, then you will not reply. Okay.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My question is mentorship paid for? I'm asking this question because I've paid for mentorship.
Paid?
Yes. Why? Let me explain why. Because I believe you go towards your mentor, somebody you admire, and you see the person as a role model. So you move towards your mentor. So when I moved towards this lady and this man, I was asked to pay for 1 year. So I was mentored for 1 year and I left because I got so pissed. And at the same time, how can I pay? And I'm the one always coming. I must come and look for you. So is mentorship paid for? Secondly, most people misunderstand mentorship and apprenticeship. A mentor, I believe with mentorship, you the mentor, irrespective of who, once your mentee approaches you, you find a way to walk to her, to what she needs. But apprenticeship, you can decide to choose who to be your apprentice or not. So can I know the difference, and is mentorship paid? Thank you.
So let them just ask the questions and
Thank you very much, Ms. Angelique Ondoa from Cameroon. She is my sister from Cameroon, actually. And I really wanted to contribute to her brilliant presentation and paper presentation. And I have a question for you, but I also have an experience. But it's not my personal experience, it's that of a little girl in my country, which was my neighbor. The question is, are the parents not supposed to be our first mentors? I think they are supposed to be our first mentors. But if they are the same person to persecute us, to make us go through trauma, I think that there should be something that is to be made. I'll count a little bit of this little story of this young girl. Now she is 13 years old. Backward, she was 9 years old when she had this issue of hers. This little girl, since she was 9 years old, went through rape by her dad. Yes. Her dad was married with a mom. And the mom came with 3 children. There were 3 boys. And afterward, they welcomed a bouncing baby boy. And afterward, they welcomed a bouncing baby girl. And they were living peacefully until things went bad and they had to separate. You know, couple is not always good. It's good, it can be good, it can be bad. But the thing is that it cannot match. If it doesn't match, don't force yourself, actually. So she didn't force herself, she went, leaving her daughter and her young boys to her baby daddy. But as so far as she left the home, you know, the man said, okay, as you're no more there, I have to make myself a little wife who can replace you. And he chose the little girl. And he forced the little girl every night, going inside her room, touch her, tell her that that's normal. Her father has to do that before another guy. I have to show you the example, and showing the examples by having sexual intercourse with you in the age of 9 years old. And the sister, she was having elder sisters in the same house with aunties. But because of our traditional customs of Africans, you know that your brother is raping his own daughter. Because the family heard about the issue because the elder sister told her auntie, who is the brother of the man, actually, that as you see, daddy is raping our little sister every day, and she's crying. She's weeping with tears every day. What should we do? Listen to what another woman says. Leave that. It's a family issue. Don't say it to anybody. Don't tell it to anybody, because if you say it to anybody, they'll put your father in jail and you regret it. You don't have anybody else to take care of you. So the girl continued to go through this till the age of 12 years. She went through this to the age of 12 years, crying. Afterwards, she couldn't make it. One day, she told her mom, because she didn't have the courage to tell her mom. She told her mom, "Mommy, I'm no more secured here. I want to go." "Why don't you want to go? Why do you want to go? You know that your daddy is the one paying your school fees, doing everything for you. Why do you want to go?" "No, Mommy, I want to go." You know, us mothers, we never want to listen to your children when they're too young. So we think that they're just doing some caprice, I don't know. So she insisted. And the small girl told, "Daddy is always putting his penis into my vagina every night. And it's hard. It's so hard. And it's very painful." She's having trauma. She needed a psychiatrist. But she went through this. Immediately, the mom heard that. She went to the police station and got the man to jail. But everybody knew about it. Somebody talked about it, right? I think it's Valvita, that we are criminals. If you know something is going through and you don't want to say it, that means you are a criminal. You're even bitter than the person doing it. She went through this. And more. It's not only about rape. She had HIV/AIDS.
I know.
In the age of 12 years. HIV/AIDS. And she was pregnant of her own daddy. You know what's worse? Our society. He went to jail just for 1 year. And now he's out. Walking free into my neighborhood. Speaking loudly with other people. What is justice? What is justice? If we allow that, our parents, now I'm going through to ask that question. Our parents not supposed to be our first mentors. Thank you very much.
Yes, it's better. Okay. Wow, that was heavy. So I'm actually holding myself to get emotional, but since I have to answer, so I'll start with your own question. You said, "Is mentorship being paid?" I will answer to you right away, no. When I was speaking, I said it is voluntary, okay? You choose to be another person's mentor, being it a youth or an adult, because even adults can also be mentored. I followed during the youth panel, somebody said that we had a lady who was also abused, and it's only 20 years after that she could actually speak up. Now, how do we do with that kind of a person? You know, a human body is also like a system. Now, if a system has been distorted at a certain point in time, there need to be people who volunteer to bring back that system. That is, to bring back the balance, the emotional balance, the psychological balance, the mental balance, so that the person should be inserted again in the society and be capable to perform. So, your next question, I think, was, what is the difference between mentorship and apprenticeship? Okay. So, as I told you, a mentor is a role model. It's a positive role model person who is actually there to shape a youth through his leadership journey. Now, apprenticeship has a specificity. Okay, if I, for example, I'm achieving to become a nurse or a medical doctor, definitely I will need to have as a person to accompany me or to coach me through that profession. So because what I'm trying to learn is the nursing skills, is the skills that are related to the profession as a doctor, okay? Which is very different from being a mentor, because a mentor actually also acts as a counseling. So it's a whole lot of science. It's a science that is packaged with so many things at the same time. It's not only about you being inserted into a company or into an organization. It's not only you having all the equipments to be an actor, economically speaking, but it's also you bringing into that person not only the aptitude, but the attitude, because it is a package of aptitudes and attitudes. So I hope I've answered your question.
All right. I think we're done with the two. Let's
I've not answered her question.
Okay, our own question. Okay.
Yes, her own, and it's the last. So, as I said, unfortunately, in some of our society, now I speak, quoting an example with Cameroon, some parents fail to your duties. Why? We might not be able to give all the answers in one day or in one night, and if you have to do it, I think we'll have to organize a new summit for that. But you, as an individual who decide to take over where the parent failed, where the father failed, where the mother failed, you are there now to bring back, to cure those pains, to be able to heal them. It will take time. That is what we say, mentoring is a process. It will definitely take time. And to be able to achieve a complete human being that is ready now, who has closed the door to the pains and to the trauma, it takes time. So that is why I insist again, it is voluntary. Don't be tired along the way. Don't feel fatigue. No, because you are actually there. As she said it so well. I loved it when she said it. It has to be to you more as a mission, not as an occupation, not as a profession. That is how you have to see it. It is a mission. You are on a mission. You're on a mission to make somebody. You are on a mission because one person is actually representing a whole nation. I speak here, but there are a lot of thousand young Cameroon ladies that are standing at my back. And somebody said it yesterday, I think, we all cannot be the Bobs. They need to be a support. Someone needs to accept to be the support that will support the bulb for it to shine. So mentors are actually supporters. We support the bulbs to shine. That is what we have to keep today and go with. Thank you very much again.
Thank you so much. Yes. A lecturer.